begins New Zealand, the testing game for the French, who have failed to beat the Kiwis in any of their last 18 meetings, stretching back almost 30 years. And this is the way the two sides line up. The French coach Bobby Goulding naming his side just an hour ago because of injury, illness and suspension. But this is the way the French go. They have Villegas at full-back. Then it's Piquemal, Sadoui, Duport and Vackery. Bosque is alongside Wynne. The forwards, Sheed, Kane, Bentley and Griffey. Elimer, who is the captain, and Tuxegas in the second row, with Jamal Fakir, the loose forward. And on the bench, it's Molly, Andrew Bentley, Martans and Gatziago. The coach is Bobby Goulding. New Zealand have made minimal changes, but Bronson Harrison's injury means he misses out. So this is the way New Zealand will line up. Lance O'Hire at full-back, then it's Perrott, Matai, Sow and Goodwin, Marshall and Fiend. Up front, it's Nuasala, Luluai, Moi Moi, Blair, Pritchard and Soliola, who is St Helens bound next year, of course, with Luke, Eastwood, who's on his way to the Rhinos in 2010, Matalino and Waria Hargreaves for the coach, Stephen Kearney. OK, it's anthem time in the south of France, so off we go. And waiting for us after the national anthems in Toulouse is Steve-O, Terry O'Connor and Bill Arthur.
En l'honneur de l'équipe de France, la Marseillaise.
Well, they might be the no-hopers going into this game, decimated by injury, by illness and by the suspension of David Ferriol, but that hasn't diminished the optimism here at the Stade Ernest well on this evening in Toulouse. A great atmosphere and a fair turnout from the Toulouse public for Bobby Goulding's side to take on the Kiwis here. And it's a French side, as we've mentioned, that has had all sorts of problems in the build-up to this game, and they face a Kiwi side that is running hot at the moment and that will perform the haka just to throw down the gauntlet here this evening. And Adam Blair, as is customary, I think, will lead this. Isaac Luke will be alongside him, and young 4-year-old Antoine there will then have the duty of kicking off this game for charity. A shirt for a life, the message this evening, and Antoine is helped by two French international sportsmen, Christophe Kempe, Olympic and world champion handball player, and Patrick Tabaco, an international rugby union player, who will be involved in the kick-off of sorts before the game starts. And after that we will then have the haka, and there is young Antoine, who will have the duty of kicking off, a mock kick-off I should say, that was still to come is the haka. There he goes, the young, the 4-year-old, with his big moment tonight. And the Kiwis waiting patiently for their big moment.
Retrouvez le site internet
As young Antoine leaves the field, the French lined up, ready to face their opponents, brooding menacingly on the halfway line, the Kiwis, but ready for their bit now. Somehow I don't think they're going to be taking this one lightly.
No, they realise the importance of it, and we've been staying in the same hotel as the Kiwis, and I must say they look very focused indeed. They realise the importance of this game against the French side that Bill has already mentioned has gone through their problems this week. But we spoke to their coach, Bobby Goulding, is still very confident that they will give all their best, and a good crowd has turned out tonight. But I think everybody, after witnessing the display by the Kiwis last week, absolutely superb performance from them.
And there was a lot of passion in that ACCA there. And the French stood tall, they stood proud, and they've got nothing to lose in this game. Don't hold back, Bobby said to him. You've got to go out there, throw the ball around. No one's giving you a chance, you've got nothing to lose.
So the Kiwis will get us underway. Shane Hayne is the referee, as you saw from those team lineups. France dramatically changed from the side that met England last time out. Ferriol suspended, Bale, Ragan, Gossard, Casti all injured, as is Gresek, and this week Pello and Greenshields going down with what's believed to be swine flu, and at one stage yesterday evening there was the prospect of the French Department of Health getting involved and quarantining the French team. Thankfully that didn't come to pass. Jamil Fakir with a good run, early run for this French side. They need to get some confidence early on to the French if they're to have any chance of even making this game respectable this evening.
And you could see quite clearly that the New Zealanders, they're out of the blocks very, very quickly, especially 2 or 3 defenders out wide. They're forcing France down the centre.
And a little chip over the top from Bosk, and Sadoui was chasing, but he couldn't get there. And Junior Sau was there to gather for the Kiwis, but the French may be showing their hand there. They're not going to die wondering this evening. They're going to give it their all and maybe chance their arm as well.
Well, we know the quality of the standoff. Thomas Bosk, it was a neat little chip over the top, just didn't get the bounce. But this is where the Kiwis, very strong, like to play the ball quickly, scoot away from that dummy half position.
But wasn't that a real positive start? This is where the big clash has got to be won. Controlling the speed of which the big fellas are playing the ball. 50 yards they made when they had ball in hand, this French side. They need to keep it up for 80 minutes, though.
Marshall drifting across the field, and then he's closed down by Vincent Deportes. The French crowd liking that. Marshall just scrambling forward and just had a little word in his ear from the referee at that. And then the kick, a hurried one. Oh, and coolly done by Nicolas Picamol, who's making his French debut. A late call-up to this French side. Picamol, 27 years of age, from the Lesignan club, and brought into the side because of all these injury problems that Bobby Goulding has had to contend with. And Picamol is a seasoned campaigner, although making his international debut. And then the Kiwis are offside.
Have to be a little bit more controlled in defence, but I think it's quite obvious with this French outfit. There's the big hits. We expect a lot, don't we? Moi, such a strong man. But the French side quite happy to give it plenty of air.
Well, with the hard man Ferriol missing, maybe the mantle has fallen to Jamil Fakir to put his weight around for the French. And it's a positive start from this French team. New Zealand can't afford to be slow out of the blocks, and the Kiwis can be prone to that. They can go up and down a bit. They certainly were up last week for that meeting with Australia. What a performance that was. The question is, can they back that up? And they certainly should do that this evening. But it's France on the attack with Thomas Bosk. Bosk to Win now. Win takes them on himself. The Australian who's lived in France for the last 10 years or so, playing his rugby league. Now here is Thomas Bosk. Boss gives the ball some air to Olivier Elima, the captain, and Elima was looking for some support on the inside. It's the last tackle for France, and Teddy Sadoui going for it. They could be in awe, and Piquemol very nearly getting a try on his debut there. Good kick thinking from Teddy Sadoui, putting the little kick in, and for a moment it looked as though the ball was going to sit up in that in-goal area, but Piquemol couldn't get there in time for the French.
Not a bad option, is it, to centre Sadoui? Just a little bit too strong there. Piquemol knew exactly what was happening. Well, Stephen Kearney, the New Zealand coach, won't be happy with that. They were a little bit lax there on that short blind side.
That's a good run from Sam Perrett. Good strength from the winger, and he plays the ball on the 40-metre line, and they're making progress now, the Kiwis, and there goes Steve Matai. It's a big 10 that referee Shane Hayne is giving, and the Kiwis exploiting it with Luluai up the middle. Luluai's ball on the inside to Marshall, and Marshall will get the first try of the night, and having withstood that early French pressure, the Kiwis put it together, and the crowd applauds in admiration the French, because they know class when they see it, but real progress up the middle of the field there from the Kiwis, and Benji Marshall, the captain, there to finish off and get his 7th try in the colours of the Kiwis.
Just shows you quick play the ball, and he scooted away. Thomas Luluai, calm and collected, knew that his partner, the standoff Benji Marshall, back on the inside. Superb break. He had the numbers, knew he was going to score over. Well, an enterprising start by the home side, France, but the first real opportunity by the black and whites, the Kiwis. They've got the scoreboard working.
This French side have really got to control the speed of the play of the ball. The Kiwis have had one chance and they've scored a try. They've got to get numbers in. They've got to try and slow them down. They won the first 3 tackles, and Benji Marshall just goes in. Jamal Fakir starting really strong, but they've got to keep this performance up.
Well, the previous tackles, I must say, they really just turned them over, tried to turtle them just to slow them down. They know that the Kiwis have got so much speed, but that was excellent work, though, by the hooker, Thomas Luluai.
It's Bryson Goodwin with the goal-kicking duties, winning his 3rd cap this evening. He's already kicked a couple of goals in his international appearances so far. And well, he's dragged that one, and a shake of the head from Goodwin, the Bulldogs player.
And it just shows you very, very slow there. You can see that Matau Griffey, he hadn't even got himself into a position before Luluai spotted the gap. Remember, Thomas Luluai had a tremendous game after they switched him from scrum half to hooker in the World Cup last year down in Australia. Proved to be a bonus for Stephen Kearney, the coach.
Bosk's restart, almost catching Lance Ahaya out, and then he left it to Nathan Feen. Well, Thomas Luluai, in fact, got a bit of a bang against the Aussies last week and was taken off. Recovered from that well enough. Not so Jeff Lima and Bronson Harrison from their knocks, hence the changes in this Kiwi side. The penalty goes against the French.
Shane Hayne, very, very strong on the fact that he saw previously the French outfit trying to just turtle him, turn him over, slow things down. Not going to be doing that. Now then, watch for the big fellas.
Which one? There's quite a few of them out there.
There's 13 of them for the Kiwis.
Go.
Here is Marshall, the try scorer, and Nathan Feen. And Fui Moi Moi, but fair dues to the French. They were there to meet him, and Vincent Duport stood his ground.
Well, you've got to stand tall
as well.
Fufu Moi Moi is going to go only one way. That's straight and as hard as he can. He's not going to use any footwork, so that's where you can get a shot on him.
Feen. That ball went, well, it was going forward to start with, then it ricocheted off Adam Blair, so the French pick it up.
Just trying to be a little bit too fancy there, New Zealand. It would be better to just settle things down a little bit. Look how quick they are out of the blocks, though. The French have hardly taken 2 steps, and the black and white jumpers are all over them. Look at that defence.
Oh, Elima took the hit, bounced off it, and the French get the penalty, and a little bit of interference there from Sia Soliola.
Well, I think the man with the whistle has made it quite clear that he wants an open game. Let's get on with it. Let's face it, good crowd here to witness this.
Olivier Helmer just catches his breath after that encounter with Sia Soliola.
Let's listen. No.
Here is Fakir. Fakir runs it at them.
That's one. Move! Hold!
Had his injury problems in the last couple of years, Jamil Fakir. He's got a bit of catching up to do. Here is Matthew Griffey now. Popular local player. Well, he's moved to Toulouse, Matthew Griffey, this season. He plays the ball. Bentley, try-scorer against the English. Bosk, great hands from Bosk. Good defence from the Kiwis.
Pickamole, superb tackle. Came in on the angle, ball and all, and just bounced him straight down. Quick thinking there by Kane Bentley. When you look at this French outfit, you realise Thomas Bosk, James Wynne, Kane Bentley, they've got the quality. It was good work there by Bosk on that short blindside, but what about the tackle? Bang!
Teddy Sadoui felt that and couldn't keep a hold of the ball. But again, the French showing some imagination. Trying to unlock this New Zealand defence. Kiwis ahead by 4 points to nil here at Stade Ernest Wallon in Toulouse, home of Toulouse Rugby Union Club. Great little stadium this is as well. Not so little in actual fact. And a good crowd here tonight as well. They like their rugby, whatever code in Toulouse.
Here's 10, hold! Go.
Here's Fufu Moi Moi. Left the man on the deck. I think it's Jamil Fakir, is it?
How many times do you see that in Super League? Jamal Fakir getting knocked down like that.
Just leaving Lance.
I've never seen it. Watch this. Fufu Moi Moi gets the ball straight and at Fakir. Bang! Get out the way.
Well, you've got to ask the question, is this legal? Did it hit the chest or did it go up into the face? It's pretty hard to decide there.
That was legal, that, Steve-O. That was just straight and hard.
He's difficult to handle, that's for sure, Mr. Moi Moi.
Injured French players watching on there and possibly marvelling at Fufu Moi Moi.
They're thanking the lucky stars that they are injured, I think, Bill, with that charge by Moi Moi.
Tackle 3.
Well, Jamil Fakir is back on his feet and ready to throw himself into the fray again for the French.
Down.
Gone for the 40-20. And it could have the prospects here. It has. The touch judge has got his flag up.
He had his
Constant
feet up.
Filigas got in a terrible tangle trying to keep that ball in play, and when he made contact with it, he was actually out of play.
It was bouncing all over the place. It was very, very difficult indeed, but the touch judge got it absolutely spot on. Watch, his feet's over the line.
He was virtually in the stand.
Yeah. Well, this is even more pressure now. Now, don't be surprised if the New Zealanders come up with something from the scrum base. Keep your eye out on this short blind side. They've got Junior Sau.
Max Gresek in the stand there, watching on another one of the injured players for the French. It's the New Zealanders who have head and feet at the scrum, and here's Marshall, and Marshall is driven back in the tackle, and listen to the cheer from the French crowd there. They like that.
Not too early, 10.
Well, that was good work, wasn't it, by Vakary, the winger? Come right on the angle, could see he was going to be the second phase.
But has that just delayed the inevitable? 10 minutes gone here in Toulouse. New Zealand ahead by 4 points to nil at the moment, but they're looking for more points with Adam Blair.
Here I am.
3 tackles gone.
Hold. Go. Yep.
Luluai. Marshall's pass out wide is gathered. They come back in field. They keep the ball alive, the Kiwis. It's with Frank Pritchard now. And again, they're driving in at this French defence. 4 tackles gone, says referee Shane Hayne.
Stay there.
Thomas Luluai.
Go.
Bryson Goodwin was virtually on the whitewash there. Here's Fufu Moi Moi. Barreling run from the Kiwis number 10, and 3 Frenchmen in there to stop him. Can they survive this set of 6, the French? On the last tackle. Fiends cross-field kick. It's hoisted up for Perrett. Perrett has got it, and Perrett will claim the try. Shane Hayne checks with his touch judges that was all in order. No need to refer to the video ref. And it was delaying the inevitable there. The battering ram was used, but in the end it was the delicate touch of Fien.
Good work as well by the halfback. Gave himself plenty of time, and you can see there that Perry completely outjumped his opposite number. pinpoint accuracy there by Nathan Feen. And you can see that Nicholas Picamole went just a touch too early. Mr. Perritt didn't. Second try.
You keep going, mate.
In full control.
You keep going.
7th try for the Kiwis for Sam Perritt, and the French just
Thank you.
gathering their thoughts behind their own try line.
That's right. Thank you.
It was always going to be a problem, Bill, in regards to the French having so many out, especially with the big guys in the forwards. And when you take on a pack that the New Zealanders have out there tonight, very difficult to try to stop them getting over the advantage line. And when you've got the quality of Nathan Feen and Benji Marshall, they're controlling things out there. It was a superb kick into the corner. Excellent stuff.
Goodwin now with this conversion attempt, missed with his first. That one, well, it went in a sort of roundabout route. Looked as though it was setting off to miss, but then hit the target, and Goodwin hits the target, and the New Zealanders 10-0 ahead here.
It's just simple plays in and around the ruck by this Kiwi side. They're taking the ball to him, they're sucking in the French defenders, and then they're going out wide for Perritt to score that try.
Stay onside.
Bosk with the restarts.
Hey, watch his head.
It's 1980, the last time that the French
Here's 10. Hold.
beat the Kiwis.
Go.
That's how far back you have to go. They've definitely had the upper hand in the meetings since then. 17 Kiwi wins,
Hold.
and just the one draw since that game in Perpignan when France won by 6 points to 5 against Mark Graham's side. Really is an uphill battle for this French team. Newcomers to this tournament, making it the Four Nations, and Luluai again causing havoc up the middle of the field. He's lost that ball though, says the referee, as he went to ground.
I think he just tried to force it out, but again we see the importance of playing the ball exceptionally quickly. Thomas Luluai obviously being spoken to by his coach Stephen Kearney. Jump out of the dummy half position as quickly as possible.
He's made 15 metres, mate.
He's certainly enjoyed that position since he was switched for that successful World Cup campaign last year.
Don't worry about him. You just do what I'm telling you.
The one thing that I admire about this New Zealanders against Australia last week, Terry, is that the way that they control their forwards, they share the work. It isn't always just one or two of them doing most of the effort.
They do, Steve. And when you've got a centre like Junior Sau, he made more metres than any other Kiwi player last week. He's a big strike player in the right-hand side for this Kiwi side. They've got speed, they've got power, they've got strength all over the park.
Three. Move.
They went looking for Olivier Ellimer there, but the French captain withstood the challenge. Bosk maybe not so there.
Stay. Hold.
Big hit on him from Frank Paul, the wrecking ball. Frank Paul Nuasala. And Wynne ducks under the challenge there from Frank Pitchard.
All the way to Benji.
That's the 5th tackle, and the Kiwis just letting them know they're around, just like they did to the Aussies last week. And what a sight that was, some of those shots at the stoop. People were talking about that long into night. Good kick from the French, though.
Oh, look at that hit. Oh, Nuasala did not miss. Would have felt that, Thomas Bosk. Though to be fair to Bosk, he's certainly putting himself about.
Take a shortcut in.
That's the 5th occasion he's taken first receiver, trying to take on. At least when they've got possession, the French are trying to ask a few questions.
And one thing's for sure, when you play against the Kiwi side, if you get a big shot put on you, the next one is going to be even bigger. Look at this for French defence.
Release. Hold.
And they've very nearly got Steve Matai over the whitewash there. No lack of commitment from Bobby Goulding's side. Well, you would expect nothing less from a side coached by the fiery little Woodnesian, who has been among the ill contingent within the French camp this week.
Here he goes again. Oh!
And they were offside. Jamil Fakir, credit to him, because he's been on the receiving end and he was ready to dish a bit out there, but they were offside. So that's kind of burst the bubble of excitement there.
Well, Mr. Fakir has picked this guy out, Moi Moi, and said, you gave me one earlier. And he just went a touch early. He came off second best. It's on. Keep your eye out on that.
Well, they can't afford, though, to lose anybody else this evening, the French. They've got Australia to come in Paris next week. course, the Kiwis with England on the horizon in Huddersfield.
But what they do need to do is keep coming out the line. The likes of Jamal Fakir, he is a dominator in defence. He needs to be coming out the line, needs to be putting shots on and trying to intimidate the opposition. Don't stand back and wait for them to make the plays.
Now 2 solid drives by the Kiwis now. Will they force a link? No, they've gone the blind side.
Luluai on.
Lost it.
Well, it looked very pretty and very intricate, but they went without the ball.
Pritchard just couldn't keep it in.
Pritchard couldn't take it, and a let-off for the French.
And the crowd have got excited, plenty of noise, trying to lift the national team.
Seconds. Have it again. Take it
Referee
in.
asked them to set that scrum
Stay in
again.
the scrum. Stay in the scrum.
A little bit
Righto, ball in.
shambolic first time round, so it's win. And the French now will
That's one.
find it difficult to make progress, I'm sure, against this Kiwi team, who are very quickly out of their blocks. And Jamil Fakir finds there are 3 black shirts closing him down very rapidly. Bentley.
Pretty good defence as well. Stephen Kearney, you know, after that game against Australia, was very pleased with their ability to keep Australia down in their own half. The Australians found it difficult to get over the halfway line in their sets of 6. And they were looking for the same tonight.
Bosca's gone for a 40-20. It's a good kick, but it just pinged the wrong way. And Lance Haya got there in time. And they're able to bring it back with Perrett.
Here we are, hold.
One of the try scorers so far for New Zealand, who are 10-0 up here in Toulouse.
Held, release.
Referee calls held. And Haya continued for a brief second there.
Surrender.
Good win on the 40-metre line. 3 tackles gone in this set of 6 for the Kiwis. And here's Luluai, who's Fufu Moiwoi, had just adjust there, has come across the field so far. And gets the ball away to Fien. Fien changes direction, and Luluai again skipping his way up the middle. He's got support. The support is from Pritchard. The little kick ahead, and it's a good race. And Vakari did well to get back there.
He's having a wow of a game, isn't he? Thomas Luluai. He's enjoying this quick play of the ball, scooting away, taking full advantage of the French defence, not really sorting it out. Not a bad kick either by Frank Pritchard. There's nothing better than to work on the attack on this left-hand side as we look at that shot.
Vakari had the issue covered. Nicolas Larat in the middle, a shake of the head from the French president. It's not that bad yet for his side. Taz Battieri just sitting down in front of him. From the Rugby League International Federation, European Federation. France in possession.
And they're doing a decent job. They're trying to target Nathan Fien, who's the scrum half for the Kiwi side, the number 7, the only shot. Last week he missed 7 tackles when he played against Australia. Oh, here we go, penalty.
Good work by James Wynn. Realised that the Kiwis just a little bit slow to sort themselves out. So anybody comes across, and it was a swinging arm from Adam Blair as well, but he was offside. Now then, kick into the corner, 2 drives, and let's see what Thomas Bosk can produce with his half-back partner, James Wynn.
And maybe just build a bit of pressure down this end of the park.
Well, they certainly would raise the roof here if the French were to get over the try line. Very committed crowd. How committed are their side? So far, they've shown bags of that. In adversity. Good ball from Bosk to win, but Luluai was there to make the tackle. France on the 20-metre line. Ball on the inside for Fakir. He does well to offload to Bentley. Bentley, try scorer, last time out against the English. Takes the tackle. Win. And a charge from Martin, and he's over the try line, and they do raise the roof. Sebastian Martin with the try. The Kiwis with their hands on their hips. Wonder how that happened. Well, it happened because Sebastian Martin came storming onto that ball, and the French commitment is rewarded. And Sébastien Martin gets his first try in the colours of France.
Thanks, Clint.
Well, we knew the quality, didn't we, of Thomas Bosk and, of course, Kane Bentley. Back on the inside there by Wynne. And that is to be scored. That's a great effort. Came on the angle, and New Zealand just a touch slow. You could see there that Soliola had moved out of the picture, and by the time it came across, he'd got the ball down. That's a great effort, and much appreciated by the home crowd.
Was there a suspicion that Seb Martin lost his grip on the ball?
No, I think he got it down fair and square.
Okay, good.
Well, the referee Shane Hayne didn't have any doubt about that decision. And Thomas Bosk will try and add the conversion. He's the Catalan Dragons' record point scorer in their history. 688 points in 92 games for the Dragons, Thomas Bosk. He's also kicked 15 goals for France. Looking to add this one to close the gap. And he should do that. A kicker of his calibre.
Yep.
Bosk successful. France 6, New Zealand 10. The scoreline here in Toulouse.
This French side are playing real simple rugby league. Jamal Fakir is having an absolute field there. He's running strong, and if you run strong into the collision, you will get rewarded. Seb Martin just cuts a good line. He uses his footwork, and he just runs over the top of Moi Moi. And this is what this French side needs to do. They need to build a bit of self-belief. They've got the try. They're back in the game.
I still think there was a suspicion that ball was dropped, but not so. And that ball was very nearly allowed to go into touch by the French. Fortunately for them, Frédéric Vackery was quick out of his blocks in those red boots, but he's taken a knock as the winger in the background there.
Here's 10. Go.
Well, it was a good try by Martins, and you sort of wonder, as it just really poked the Kiwis in the eye, will they respond very, very quickly? They look to have been having the game in control, and that's lack of concentration, giving away a silly penalty.
Well, we said earlier on that Kiwis are prone maybe to just following up a big performance like they had last week with one maybe at that level.
Well, it was always a problem, and Stephen Kearney was a little bit concerned in regards to.
Yeah, but I still need you to move, mate.
They'd realised all through the week the problems with Flou in this French outfit.
That's one.
There's no doubt about the injuries, but you wonder whether it's maybe hyped up. It has been hyped up a little bit by the French, just a bit of a smoke screen, maybe to lull the Kiwis into a false sense of security. But this isn't a side of no hopers so far from the French, and Bentley, a good run from him. He took a shot there.
To be fair, they've got some French players that are missing, some real key individuals, but there's certain players in this French side that are really standing tall tonight.
Elima.
Oh, that was high. Swinging high by Soliola, and he didn't miss. It's missed by the official.
Villegas felt that, but it's the French on the attack again. Here is Julien Tuxegas.
Great play by Steve Matai there. Knew exactly Tuxegas was coming through, came on the angle.
On the last, Bosk with a little chip kick ahead. They're all chasing it. They'll get another set of 6, will the French. Good work.
Tremendous work. Beautiful kick by Thomas Bosk. It's all about building your confidence, and they've certainly done that at the French side. And the home fans, remember a few moments ago, there was singing, shouting, trying to get them back into this game. They certainly have done that. This is a superb effort, isn't it? Such quality, skill. Deft little kick over there by the standoff Thomas Bosk.
Kane Bentley busy again. I mentioned he got that try against England last week. Really seemed to lift his game. The New Zealand-born but French-raised Kane Bentley. His brother Andrew on the bench, called into the squad because of all these problems that the French have had. Both of them born in New Zealand, but their dad Andrew came over and played amateur in Oldham in the days of his youth, and then went off to play for La Réole in France, settled there, and the boys were raised in France, and there is Kane Bentley wearing number 9. Julien Rinaldi, another of the players not available for the French this evening. I'd love to have him. Jerome Guisset, another one of their experienced campaigners, he has also ruled himself out, but Teddy Sadawi will find touch, I'm sure. The Kiwis won't let him make progress. He got the ball away, but Luluai has come up with this.
Great cover defence by New Zealand. Muscling up. Stephen Kearney, the coach, would have get the message out and say, hey, come on, we can't just slacken off here. get back into the swing of things. Remember, we're praising the fact that the Kiwis are very good at sharing the workload. That's good work by Perrett, but that's great defence.
That was a big hit from Nicolas Picamol, who threw himself into that tackle. He's a chunky figure, this winger from the Lesignan club. Late call up for him.
Bobby Gould will be happy with the fact that early in this game, the French at the play the ball area, the first and second markers who are being caught out, but they're getting there a lot quicker and they're working as a unit. That's great play.
Marshall losing his way there. He's looking to make the link, but he just couldn't find a teammate. Now is Eastwood off the bench. Greg Eastwood missed the last game with a hamstring injury, so keen to be involved. Eastwood plays the ball. Little chip kick over the top from Feen. Hahaya is onside. The long ball out wide was forward. Perrett was screaming for it. The referee will bring him back.
He doesn't know it.
I think Perrett was looking for the kick. Perrett was pointing downfield. You can't see him, but at the bottom of the shot, Sam Perrett was pointing up the field and urging.
Well, I don't know how he's got a forward pass out of that. The official,
Let's go.
Shane Hayne, has come up with an error there.
Well, if they put the kick in, I'm sure Perrett would have got on the end of that. Let off for the French, maybe.
But what about that for a defensive set by this French side? They restricted New Zealand to 18 yards. Coming off their own line, they kicked it into the corner, they condensed the defence, and they really backed themselves. That's what they need to keep doing. Dinking it into the corner and coming off the line and trying to hurt this Kiwi side.
Here it is.
Jared Warrior-Hargreaves trying to hurt Constant Villegas with that tackle.
3. Move, Adam!
Blair making that one, and Kane Bentley
4. Move, Adam!
makes some good yards for the French side, but that's 4 tackles gone. Bosque just steps back again, puts the kick in. That could be too strong. It is. Out on the full from Bosque. A rare error from the Dragons, number 6.
Plenty of time to get it away. They elected to go early in the tackle count as well. Didn't wait until the last. Such an important player, though, Thomas Bosque. Is had a tremendous couple of seasons with the Catalans, of course.
And the players just taking their time to pack down in this scrum. It is a pretty humid evening.
All the way in, Adam, thanks.
Just like back in England, it is still really warm. Well, it's even warmer out here in Toulouse. Shirt sleeve weather. People sitting outside the cafes in the squares in Toulouse. Steve-O included. Kiwis on the attack with Soliola. Saints fans looking forward to the impact he's going to make next season. Leeds fans looking forward to the impact maybe Greg Eastwood will make.
Here's 10. Hold. Go.
Eastwood slowly to his feet to play that ball. Big hits on Warrior-Hargreaves, but he withstood that. An ooh from the French crowd below us at that impact. Here is Marshall. Marshall this time does put the kick in for Perrett. Perrett has knocked that one on.
Short.
Referee Shane Hayne, well positioned.
Well, they're going through the movements now.
Short of the line.
New Zealand realising
Scrum, short of the line.
that you can catch them out of position. Beautiful kick through. Bobbling all over the place. Just couldn't get it. Got a fingertip in the first. Knock on. Well spotted by the official.
What do you think?
French, not surprisingly, taking it very slowly indeed.
Ken Bentley, the hooker's really had a go. He's been dominant in defence. He's getting off the line. He's trying to inspire his teammates. I know this French side going into the last 10 minutes of this first half. They need to be really focused on what they do. They can't afford to give penalties away, and they can't afford to turn cheap ball over.
Ooh, problem there. Is it Steve Matai that's gone down?
A Kiwi player on all fours.
Clash of heads there.
And it was with the other Bentley, Andrew Bentley, just on the field. There are 2 Bentleys on the field, both of them wearing head guards. And
4. Move. Greg.
Matai, if it is Matai, he's still on all fours, and the trainer is with him out of shot. The trainer has just signalled the bench that he's going to have to come off by the look of things.
It's outside 40.
Kane Bentley puts the kick in. It's not a good one.
Watch his head.
Straight into the arms of Bryson Goodwin. son of Lord Ted Goodwin, Bryson Goodwin, the St George Australia hero of the 70s. So that's some pedigree. Bryson Goodwin qualifies through a New Zealand grandmother. Here he is, and meanwhile, Matai coming off the field. It looks like a blood injury as well. There's a towel pressed to his brow. So he obviously got caught right above the eye there. Well, there's Simon Mayhew, the doctor, just quickly on the scene for the
clash
Kiwis.
Of heads, wasn't it?
Was it his own teammate?
I don't know whether it's a stray elbow from his teammate, Waria Hargreaves, I think. Either way, there's a lot of claret on display.
Here I am. Well done, hold.
Well, the Kiwis have the ball back. Eastwood.
Come on, Greg.
Is Nathan Fien now. Fien across the field, and Marshall again steps away from the challenge, and this time he has got away. Goodwin, ball back on the inside, finds Marshall, like basketball for a moment from the Kiwis. Now it's with Lance Hahaya, and Hahaya was trying to offload that one as well.
Well, it's a problem out there on that right-hand side. The French outfit, James Wynne, the scrum half, he tries to hide way out there, and the Kiwis are picking him out. He came out of the line. Oh, what a take.
Perrett has caught that ball. Perrett's crossfield kick, looking for a teammate. And it's good work from Sam Perrett. They don't get the try, but they get another set of 6 because Wynne had to force that ball dead.
John on the spot, just got back in time. It was great work, wasn't it, by Sam Perrett? Neat little chip through.
He was looking for Isaac Luke.
And I mentioned earlier, this out on that left-hand side, the New Zealanders, they're realising that it is a bit of a problem. Earlier to that, remember, James Wynne came out of the line, tried to cut down Benji Marshall. Once you leave him plenty of space, it's very difficult to stop them from scoring.
Jared Waria Hargreaves running that ball in strongly. This time last year, he was working at a Christian mission in Rwanda. And if he hadn't made this trip, he probably would have gone back there again to help out Jared Waria Hargreaves. He's on a very different mission this evening with the New Zealand side. As Eastwood plays the ball, Isaac Luke out there. Nathan Fien now, Marshall. They get it wide, looking for Goodwin, and Goodwin is collared by Wynne, but he just brushes him aside, but then puts the kick in, and it's not a good one. And France survive again. They'll be delighted if they can get to the half-time hooter with this scoreline intact, will the French. Few would have given them a prospect of being this close to the Kiwis, and a penalty awarded there will help.
Just getting a little bit frustrated, New Zealand in defence there. Trying to slow things down, well spotted by the official, Shane Hayne. Well, who would have thought it? Only 4 points separate these two sides. Just under 6 minutes remaining of the first half, and boy, wouldn't it lift their spirits and the crowd here if the French outfit could get over for another try.
Artie Sheed plays the ball, another one of the Kiwi contingent. He's been in France for, seems like forever, Artie Sheed. Recalled to the side this evening.
Steve, I'm going to give a big rap to James Wynne. He's pushing his forwards in the middle of the park. He's directing his troops. He's waving his arms on, trying to organise things in the centre of the park now for this French side. And he's really standing up to him. He looks like he's getting caught short on the outside because he's pushing him in, and then he's coming in, and he didn't wrap up that tackle, but defensively he's been quite strong.
Well, here he is now, James Wynne, and trying to duck under that tackle. Plays his rugby league for the champion club of France, Lesignan. Bosque, little kick ahead. The ball is bobbling, and they're going to get another set of 6 here because there's no way for Junior Sal to go. This is great stuff from the French.
Certainly is. They've really taken it to them, haven't they? 2 early tries by New Zealand, and it's this man, Thomas Bosque, again. He allowed it to bounce. Anything can happen. Got back there in time, but that is wonderful, wonderful defence. See the backspin on the ball? It is always a problem. Good work by Junior Sa'u.
If they can keep this pressure up going up to half-time, there's only 5 minutes left that they've got to keep hold of the ball. They've got to keep turning the Kiwis around. They will come out in the second half full of confidence. Who will feel more under pressure in the second half? No one give France a cat and else chance of winning this game. The Kiwis will be the ones who'll be looking to force the ball and maybe force a few errors.
Well, it's France in possession with Julien Tuxegas. Bizarrely, the sides are supposed to be 1 to 17 this evening. He's wearing number 25.
Dominant 3.
Big hit.
Pritchard took him apart.
You concentrate on playing football, Eric.
Sab Martins, referee Shane Hayne is really chattering away to the Kiwis. Long ball out wide. Finds Nicholas Picamol. More by luck than judgment from Thomas Bosk.
Hold.
Picamol plays the ball. Here is Bosk now. Bosk back on the inside to Artie Sheed. Sheed was trying to offload that. Legs were lifted. The French appeal. Ellimer, arms raised. On the last now. James Wynn. Lovely little grubber kick, and Tuxagas trying to collar her higher. Collar him they do. They'll get another set of 6 here.
It's getting a bit tasty as well. They're getting very frustrated as well at New Zealand. And why not? The build-up there from the French outfit was superb.
Haya complaining that tackle was high, Steve-O, sorry.
Well, he did go above the shoulders. And this crowd, they are lifting yet again.
And that's a sign of frustration. The referee, Shane Hayne, has just said to the Kiwi players, concentrate on playing football, let me referee the game.
There's quite a few in black and white tonight, having a few words to say to the official.
And Olivier Ellimer returned from that successful forcing of the goal line dropout and looked to the crowd and waved his arms, urging them to join in, to lift the French spirits. Well, they must be feeling pretty good about themselves at the moment. They are only 4 points adrift here against a Kiwi side who was supposed to take him to pieces. But it's the French in possession. James Wynn now. Wynn to Sheed. And Sheed gets the ball away well to Olivier Ellimer. Ellimer, good offload to Teddy Sadoui.
Dominant 3.
So confident, aren't they? They're turning, twisting in the tackle. They've got good support. Where's the dummy runners? That's what they need to confuse the defence.
Andrew Bentley.
Alan, release! Here we are, Benji. Well done.
On that 10-metre line. Here is Wynn now. Wynn will take him on himself, almost through James Wynn. Just stumbled. That's the 5th tackle. What is Bosk going to come up with? Oh, the pass has forced him backwards. It was a terrible ball. And Bosk eventually puts the crossfield kick in, and that'll be easy for Peretz. Well, that was a shame that it ended up like that, but it was, I think it was Seb Martin's pass that flew over the head of Thomas Bosk.
Bobby Goulden will be very disappointed with that, but because they really needed a good pass so that Thomas Bosk could control the kick. As it turned out, he had a spin around. It finished up not as good as what they needed. Now they really have got to put themselves in a good defensive position. That's good play.
No, Mark is good.
Again, good play there from the dummy half.
Can the Kiwis reassert their authority just in the last minute or so of this game? They lead by 10 points to 6. Fufu Moi Moi. Another gasp from the crowd at the collision out there. Here's Isaac Luke. Luke scampering run. Keeps a hold of the ball despite French intervention. The pass from Luke goes to ground. It's back to 6, says the referee. There was a French hand in there. And Lance Haya will score in the corner. Will Shane Hayne go to the video ref? No doubt in his mind. Considerable doubt in the mind of the French coach as to how that ball came to be back in the hands of the New Zealanders. But Lance Haya didn't hang around to question that. Gets his 8th try for his country.
Well, surely there's a forward pass before this origin. That's the one. That is the one. To me, Moi Moi is passing that ball forward. Okay, a French hand touches it, but it was quite clear from what we see. Beautiful work, Isaac Luke, but that was going forward.
Does Andrew Bentley play for that ball, or the number 15?
No,
for
I think the ball goes forward to start with.
Before it gets to Bentley?
Yeah, and to me that should have been picked up by the touch judge, at least on this short side. And it is, you could see the desperation on the face of the coach, Bobby Goulden, because he realises that they have given, or should I say the officials have given the Kiwis a get-out-of-jail card with that.
And I don't think it was a French word that Mr. Goulding used there when he saw that decision.
Well, he's picked up the lingo very quickly.
Bryson Goodwin then with this conversion attempt. And the Kiwis will head for the dressing rooms, breathing a little bit easier after that. Might be fortunate. Goodwin successful with the conversion. And after a real struggle in this first half by a game French side, New Zealand are ahead by 16 points to 6.